What is going on, everybody? Welcome to our Thursday night live stream. I'm your host of the day for now, Steve. I'm also joined by my spectacular co-host, Mr. Phil Credible down below, Stronger Frame, Jayden, or the Key Bridge. That's too soon, bro. And Dev to my left,
no
Jayden Daniels, fan club president. Thank you for joining us this very fine evening. And today we have a special host to help us bring in some of the pro days of one Jayden Daniels and Drake Maye and a couple of others. Let's welcome our boy to the show, Mr. George Carmi from the Big Doug and George Carmi Show. George, how you doing today, bro?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here, man. That's a fat-ass intro, by the way. I always come into your show like halfway through the show, so I haven't seen the intro in a while. So great start, man. That's awesome. It's really good stuff.
Thank you. That's all music produced by the one and only Dev Stradamus himself. He does all of our music.
Real nice, man.
Yeah. So how you been, George? How was everything going in the world of George Carmi?
Dude, life's good, man. Just chilling out, watching basketball. My favorite time of the year. March Madness going on. Going to watch some games after I get off with you guys today. Pro days are going on. Talking about football. Life's good, man. Can't complain one bit. Hopefully the weather gets warmer around here. I'm a Maryland guy. It's still cold out here, man. It sucks, but we'll get there.
Yeah, true story. And who do you have? You have a bracket, I assume?
I do. I have a couple brackets. I have two brackets, UConn in one, and I have Purdue in the other. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I was teetering between UConn and Purdue myself, and I ended up going with UConn. So right now I'm doing okay, but we'll see how it goes, man.
To show you how much I know about college basketball, I don't even know if UConn's good or not. So.
Yeah, they're the number one seed. We'll see how that goes, man. See how it happens.
Yeah, the Purdue has some flaws in their system. That their main center, I forget his name.
Yeah.
He's exploitable. If you can run quick, if you can move the ball up and down the court, they pull him off a lot of times to bring in some better defenders. But I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah, let's jump right into the show, George, and we'll get right to it here. Let me get us in the environment here. We'll swing over here and have Mr. George be the star of the show for the evening. And let's go. Present. Waiting for it to present. Sorry.
Meanwhile, Andy Burroughs checking in from the UK says, what else is there to do at nearly 1 a.m.?
No way.
Good
Andy from left field, what's going on? How you doing? Andy, you know the drill, man. You got to hit that StreamYard link at the top of the post here so we can see your name.
Andy's been a little AWOL from Commander's social media.
Because he's focusing on his wrestling pod.
Here's the thing, because I'm a freaking mark, I actually know of these different organizations that he has gotten ties with over in the UK, and this is not like the small. It's not small fry stuff. These are guys who actually make money over there, and Andy has really gotten himself involved with some great opportunities there in the UK. So I don't blame him at all. And Andy Burroughs is one of the biggest hustlers in this podcast game, whether it's been on the football end, whether it's been on the wrestling end. So I don't know. I think maybe he's trying to prime himself for a run at prime minister in about 20 years. Not 100% sure.
We don't know. The UK boy's doing it big over there. I'll tell you that much. So George, starting off, we had Jayden Daniels pro day a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. Let's just jump right into that. I'm assuming you guys saw what he did. It was very, I think a lot of the Commanders fans wanted to tune into Jayden Daniels pro day. I know I got to watch it. Luckily, I was off yesterday afternoon, so it was definitely some good stuff. So, what jumped out at you at the pro day that you saw? Just off the cuff, what did you think about it?
So, with a pro day, you're pretty much just trying to see whether he can kind of interact with his teammates, have a good time, and he just seemed really relaxed, right? So I think watching Jayden Daniels, you want to see if he has the arm talent. I think he does, guys. I think he can throw the ball down the field. I think he can throw it to the sidelines pretty deep as well. You can tell he has good connections with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas as well. It's also cool, man. I was wearing a hoodie. I think it was Greg Brooks Jr. One of you guys might know the name better than me. But it was basically a teammate who had, I believe, brain cancer. So he's wearing a hoodie represent that and kind of speak out for his people. And Jayden Daniels, like the people knock on him and say that he might not be a good leader because he's kind of more of a quiet guy, but I think he leads by example. And I think that was what we saw from the pro day as well. So, and we're looking for that size too. All the weight is definitely a big issue. We can talk about that as well. So I think he weighed in at 210. And what's funny, fellas, I didn't realize this today, but I didn't realize Kirk Cousins is 6'3", 205.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of wild, right? I had no idea about that.
Amongst all the drama about Jayden Daniels, I'm like, hold on, everyone's posting these different weights and measurements, and Kirk Cousins 6'3", 2. I saw 205. I don't know what it really is, but still,
that was what they said. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. Wow.
And he's never missed a game until this year.
6'3", 210. But then again, all the people who want Jayden Daniels are the people who would tell you that we never want Kirk. So
yeah,
it's a good point.
They would use that as ammo.
Yeah. I will say that Jayden Daniels Pro Day overall, I think it was it wasn't Jayden Daniels star of the show. I know it was Jayden Daniels Pro Day, but I think he even came out and said it's about the boys. And Malik Neighbors, he might have I don't know if he's going to surpass Marvin Harrison Jr., but what do you think about Malik Neighbors Pro Day, George? Looked pretty good, huh?
Dude, I love Neighbors. I think Marvin Harrison Jr., he can kind of stay in all business. Marvin Harrison Jr., man, he's a legacy player. He's a, son of a Hall of Famer. So he's going to be drafted ahead of Malik Neighbors. But any other season, Malik Neighbors will be the wide receiver one off the board. Man.
The second one, which I thought he made the biggest improvement last year.
Couple more comments in the chat. Let's say hi to some folks. We have Dave Razor. What's up, Dave? He said, hurts to see Juan rocking the bomber stripes. I think we talked about this like 2 years ago. Juan Soto is going to be a Yankee. It is inevitable.
Yeah.
It is just sad to see they have the money, but yeah, we are in a reboot, regauge. I don't know what you want to call the Nats, but we are not in contention this year. So George is rocking the curly W like me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Marcus, what's up, Marcus? Thanks for joining us. By the way, Nats lost 8-2 today in opening day. Not the prettiest of sights, but hey, what can you do? I think they played the Reds today. Wasn't too pretty, but hey, it's time for the season. We have a Facebook user. It says, "Let's go." I don't know who this is, Phil.
Digital Anna.
Anna, go ahead and hit that StreamYard link or flip over to YouTube at the top if you can. Scouse. We got Scouse says Burrows is a bum. What's up? The guys from the 1 Point Safety Show. Scouse and Scotty's not on with us, but they are from the 1 Point Safety Show. Check them out. Thanks for joining us. Scouse from across the pond. It wouldn't be a show without our boy Todd Samuel. Everyone knows Todd Samuel. I'm sure, George, you know Todd Samuel as well.
Yeah.
He makes the rounds to everyone. Jayden Daniels for president. Jayden Daniels for everywhere, always. I believe he's going to join us live on draft night.
I hope he doesn't want to model our future infrastructure like our bridges after his friend.
Yes, he's going to join us on draft night, and we're going to see what we do at the number 2 pick. So it should be very, very interesting. Dave says, Kirk's going to be my agent when I retire. He's committing robbery everywhere he goes. Aaron Sherritt says, Penix is my guy. Yeah, we're going to talk about him in a second.
Why do you keep emphasizing that?
Because it's funny. Instead of saying Penix just sounds so much better. Penix is just Penix, man. Michael Penix Jr. It's Penix.
Penix sounds better, huh?
Yes. Let me give George another. There you go. Give me the sound here.
I love it.
Thank you, Tia. Welcome tonight, Todd, JD. Yes, we'll see the Todd show here. Let's go O's. Yeah, you got a nice ballpark. I'll give you that, Aaron. But rest in peace to Peter Angelos, and I hope you are resting in peace. But I'm also, a little smirk here after what you did to the Nationals and the Masson deal. So
for years.
Farewell, sir. I think a conglomerate owns him now with like Cal Ripken and a bunch of other people.
I saw that.
Yeah. Okay. So getting to Jayden Daniels Pro Day, we talked about how it was about the boys, George, and so after seeing the Pro Day, you saw what he did in the during this last season when he won the Heisman. What do you think Jayden Daniels has to work on at the next level?
So it's really interesting, man. Like we talk all the time, Steve, you and I. He's grown on me. Like, I think a lot of the criticism for Jayden Daniels is that he can't throw from the pocket, that he is, he can't throw over the middle of the field. He runs all the time. I think he actually has the skills. I actually went through and I'm trying to get through every single football game throughout the season, kind of go through it step by step. I've watched Florida State, Alabama, Florida, Texas.
Especially at the professional level. That's why you have to go.
And basically with him, like, I think he can make all the throws. The concern with him is that is he durable enough to kind of withstand a whole season? And I think that is a problem with him. Like I can run, so it's definitely a skill, but I feel like he basically puts himself at risk all the time because he runs a lot. Like he runs about like 10, 11, 12 times a game. And, at 210, at the professional level, these guys are just as fast as him. They will hit him, and he could potentially get hurt. So I am kind of worried about that. And the other concern is he's littered with talent, as we know, right? He has 2 first-round draft picks. Blake Davis a top 5 pick, top 10 pick. Right. Can you do that at the next level with the Commanders' talent if he came over to DC? So that's the concern with him. There's a lot to like about him, but that is a concern about. Like, I'm curious what you guys think about him.
Yeah, Dev, what do you think? What do you think Jayden has to do at the next level to be successful based on what we've seen so far at his pro day?
Stay alive. I don't know. Take his left tackle out to lunch every day. I think the thing I liked about Jayden Daniels is that when you see the throws he made, they look like throws you would make in an NFL game in his pro day. It looked like he threw the balls. He wasn't out there just trying to throw 80-yard bombs and doing backflips after he throws. That shit you ain't gonna ever have to do on the field, bro. We understand that you're an athlete. You can do a fucking backflip. I get it. But you saw him throwing. We saw him throwing with anticipation in drills, just like we saw it in the games. That's the thing that Hal wasn't very good at. Like those are things that Heineke was terrible at. Sometimes unless he's throwing slants. But those are things that matter, and those are the things I liked. Some things he probably need to work on, I guess. Yeah, just protecting himself. That's the only thing I'm concerned about is protecting himself. He seems as ready as anyone. Other than Penix, he's like 30. Yeah. So,
yep. We got a couple more chats. I believe this is Washington trading back with Raiders based on threats, straight trade and throw in Terry McLaurin.
That would be one.
Listen, Rod, you're an admin, bro. You know the deal. Hit that StreamYard link. Give yourself permission to see. You know how it goes.
Was that Rod that said that bullshit?
That was Rod. Yeah. Scal says he's got to learn to protect himself, and I think that's his only flaw. I mean, Lamar was actually lighter than what Jayden Daniels. I believe Lamar weighed in at 195 coming out of college. Don't quote me.
I have. It's not just protecting himself. One way he can protect himself is he needs to not be so eager to run the ball.
Absolutely.
Just because he looks just as much for an open running lane as he does open receivers down the field. Sometimes he's back in the pocket, waiting. Guys are open 20 yards down the field, but he sees a 10-yard run open up and he takes that.
I believe there's some advanced metrics that shows that, talking about like options to pass versus running, and I think Michael Penix Jr. is actually the best at it, if I'm not mistaken. There's you've probably seen it, George. There's an advanced metric out there that shows that.
Yeah, I can't reference it right now, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but so going with what you're saying, Phil, while watching Jayden Daniels' film, the offense, if he comes to DC, we have to build around him. Like with LSU, they do run a pretty RPO heavy offense, and it is pretty quick. It's like it's either he's going to run the ball, he's going to hand it off to the running back, or he's going to throw a quick screen, or he's going to throw a quick little slant. And basically, because of the talented players around him, there's plenty of yards after catch. Like there's some plays where it's like the running back will catch a screen or like an angle route, which is like pretty wide open, and there isn't someone like 10 yards around him. He just takes up the field 40 yards. That's not going to happen in the NFL. And I think the whole speed and explosive 20-yard runs isn't going to happen in the NFL either. It's like I can see him on third down, like 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, maybe kind of doing a little bootleg and kind of getting a first down that way, which is pretty attractive. But just the fact that he's running constantly, like Phil's saying, I can't see that being 100% translatable to the NFL. I can't see that.
Right. I don't mind waiting and having Penix
That's
come
all
to
it's
us.
Penix coming to DC.
That's gay as hell.
Donato, that's you, brother. Make sure you flip over to YouTube or hit that link to let you to have it. Marcus says if you watch Dan Orlovsky and Kurt Warner's film breakdown, it showed how Jayden Daniels is great in the pocket, and he is close as a finished quarterback. And I think that's the argument that most people are kind of there. One, clearly has a higher floor right? And that's Jayden Daniels. He is ready to go right now. You don't know what Drake Maye is going to be. So his floor is lower, but his ceiling could be higher. You just don't know. He has 2 years of experience. Jayden has 5. So you don't really know what Drake Maye could be. He has the physical traits that you can't train. And we saw it today. We'll talk about it here in a second.
He's got this mental block where it's like he has to run way more than he needs to. And I don't know if that's just him used to being the athlete, him wanting to take over the game and lead, or him just being, like, fuck everybody, I'm going to go get mine. But that's I've seen it too much, and I've watched a lot of tape on Jayden Daniels and Drake Maye. Yes. Jayden Daniels is a much more finished product now. 5 years of college will do that to you. But it was just like, what are we doing here? Why are we giving up big chunk gains just so you can get a 10-yard run? I get it. It's cool. He ran for 2,000 yards, but he could have thrown for 5,000 if he didn't do all that.
Yeah. And George, I don't know if you put it in the group chat earlier or you tweeted it, but before the season started, I think Jayden Daniels was like QB8.
Yeah, for sure. Like exactly right.
The 8th best quarterback in college football coming into this season. I don't know where you put that, but I think you said that.
Midway through the season. I've been trying to get an accurate kind of assessment of them. I've been watching the games, and I think it was like midway through the season, they were 4-2. They basically had the quarterbacks ranked. It was, Caleb Williams number 1, Drake Maye number 2, midway through the season. Drake Maye came into this whole year as a QB2. He was a pedigree. He's supposed to be up here, right? Yeah. Jayden Daniels was number 8 behind Shooter Sanders, and I think Ewers from Texas, a couple other people. He was like number 8 behind Bo Nix even on the list. And then he basically just shot up like a rocket as the draft went on. Yeah. So that's the scary part, man. That's the scary part we can talk about during this whole conversation. Because Maye was the guy. He was the guy coming in. He delivered. He still shows that.
His 2022 season was fantastic. They were saying he could have been QB1 at 19 years old, but he was not eligible coming out.
Dude, Steve, he was Phil. He was a redshirt freshman. As a redshirt freshman, he led NCAA in passing yards and like yards per game, total offensive production per game as a redshirt freshman. 20 years old, so
very raw.
Very raw.
Let's take a quick second and watch some of the Jayden Daniels pro day. Let's watch him make a couple throws. You guys hear this? Yep. He's got some zip on the ball.
He does.
It's not an overly impressive arm, though.
It wasn't, and it was good to see him take some snaps under center, or at least simulated. I'll turn it down a little bit. Simulated under center.
He has good footwork.
Yeah.
One thing I will say though, like after watching more of the games, he can throw from the pocket. Like I think,
he totally can. He totally can.
Is he high upside? Like is he Drake Maye as a passer? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
He kind of gives me like Jalen Hurts kind of vibes. Like he's like that type of passer. Like he can pass pretty well. He can distribute the ball pretty well. But is he like an elevator of a passer? I'm not sure about that at the next level. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, it's hard to make comps, and I don't like the Lamar comp because there is only one Lamar Jackson.
I agree.
By the time at this age right here, Lamar already had two Pro Bowls, and All Pro, Super Bowl appearance. Like, so you can't say he's Lamar Jackson, but style of play maybe. But yeah. Okay, let's get back into where we were there just a second ago. There we go. George back being a star. Okay, a couple more comments here. Todd says, Cliff Kingsbury will run the LSU spread offense with pro concepts. We are not running the air raid offense. 2 things.
I like how he says, no,
drafting JJ.
Todd believes that everything that LSU does, if a team copied it and did in NFL, they're going to win every Super Bowl. Now, let's also forget that LSU didn't even play in the national championship playoffs.
Yeah.
Sure.
Calm down with the about LSU, buddy.
So that's a good segue to the next question, George. So if, we got Cliff Kingsbury, we know his history at Texas Tech, and then at Arizona with Kyler. What, if anything, is that indicative of the type of style offense that he may or may not run? And of course, only at USC, people are linking him to Caleb, but he was an offensive consultant.
Yeah, he wasn't an offensive coordinator or anything like that. Yeah.
Correct.
I believe Riley was that actual offensive coordinator over in USC.
So what does that mean as far as like Jayden Daniels, as far as Jayden Daniels is concerned? Todd kind of hit on it, but what do you think that Cliff Kingsbury has to do with Jayden Daniels, if anything?
It's going to be interesting because I don't think he even knows yet, right? So for those of you that don't know me, I do a Commander's Film Room on Tuesdays with Mark Bullock and Nick Ackridge, and we actually broke down shout out to my crew over there. Cliff Kingsbury, we had a Cliff Kingsbury breakdown a couple of weeks ago, and what was cool about Cliff Kingsbury is he evolved over time. Like he walked into Arizona trying to implement college concepts and having like that true air raid of 4 or 5 wide receivers and just fun and gun and just kind of working horizontal slants across the field. But over time, he evolved and he actually basically started to go from more of like a spread offense to more of a 2-3 tight end type of offense with a heavy running game. Like you guys definitely know this, but like, when by the time he left, his offense was like top 10 in the rushing and top 10 in passing. Like I think it was like 7th or 8th overall in rushing. And James Conner was a stud, and he definitely used him quite often in the red zone. So
give me 2 tight ends all day, man. Give me 2 tight ends.
You're a run guy. I know that for sure.
I just love tight ends, dude.
There you go. Yeah, they're versatile, right? So like, I think he's going to evolve his game from his. I think he's learning. He's a film junkie, as we know. He's going to study the film. He's going to basically apply it to the next level. But I think what's going to happen, he's going to come in with his ideas. But what I also like is Anthony Lynn's going to check him a little bit, right? So Anthony Lynn, former Chargers coach, former game coordinator for the 49ers, he's going to basically implement that Shanahan run system as well, which is more of like a stretch type of offense. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a hybrid offense. But that's where I'll throw it to you guys about how you feel about it. Like that's the upside, but it's also concern. Like how many cooks are in the kitchen kind of working together? It's gonna be kind of interesting. Are you guys worried about that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So if we get Jayden and he's our guy, I think they're going to really rely on his mobility at first because that's what happens, right? A young quarterback is learning NFL system. You got to have mobility. It's a plus. And then we don't know who the heck our offensive line's going to be right now. We have no idea. So I think it's going to be very hybrid in that sense. They might try to run a traditional spread offense, but anything it's going to be about Jayden learning how to play in the NFL and using his mobility to his advantage. I don't know if Dev or Phil, you have any other insights, but that's what I think.
I agree. I mean, I agree. Like I said, I really hope that whoever we get at quarterback, that the idea of Kingsbury is that he adjusts his concepts to whoever that quarterback's strengths are. And I guess that means we're going to be running tons of quarterback draws if Jayden's drafted because we have to satisfy him. But
no,
I hope not. Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah.
He's 0.
Point is, by the way, Andy Burroughs complimenting Dev.
Who ate Dev? Looking good, brother. Dev. Andy's giving you a shout out. Says you look good, man. You look good. It's like he said. I think he's saying you look like you lost some weight there, buddy.
Nah, I mean, I haven't eaten carbs in like 3 weeks, man.
Yeah.
There you go, Dev. There you go.
But not really. You see the hits that Jayden's taken in college, and it's very reminiscent of the hits that RG3 would take. Like I said, Jayden does have more wiggle to him than RG3, but he has the same lack of field vision when he's running. And that really, and you see, these are the things that people say, well, you're not talking about his ability to pass. Well, I'm not talking about his ability to pass. I'm talking about something that's going to be because everybody is hyped. They like to say,
Todd said it was a dry pro day because he had no music.
Every pro day is
They're arguing about music.
Every pro day is boring and dry.
Yes. So if you had a pro day, what music would you do?
It's a bunch of guys in shorts and t-shirts playing pitch and catch.
What would you play if you were doing a pro day, Phil? A little dance.
We're playing nothing but 90s East Coast.
Okay.
I think you got to figure out what is the group like, and then just roll with it. Who cares? It's just music. That's what I say.
I'm playing sexy. I'm playing Sexy Red out there.
Sexy Red.
Todd said you should have played some Petey Pablo at least. Brandon Cole from YouTube. What's up, Brandon? Thanks for joining us, man. We are glad to have you this evening.
My booty hole Brown throwing touchdowns and shit.
Scouse is another Jayden. He's
McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy had 2. I had to cry in the corner. Said Jayden.
Man, McCarthy gets drafted at 2, man. All the air in the franchise is going to fly. I almost want to see the train wreck, but I don't want to be a part of that shit.
I gotta say is that here's the thing. I have no hate against us picking Jayden Daniels. I have concerns about him as a quarterback, as one should. He has got some issues. He is not the best quarterback in this draft. I still think Caleb Williams is. Mm-hmm. But it's the hive, and Todd is the leader of this hive, but there's a hive on Twitter for Jayden Daniels, and they won't hear nothing. They'll say something. He looks so relaxed compared to Drake Maye. First of all, Drake Maye had our coaches laughing on the sidelines.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah. Got some of those. We'll play here in a second.
Secondly, Jayden Daniels could come out there and literally just, have a Taco Bell release in his pants on a drop back, and Todd would somehow tell you that is a sign of a confident leader.
Is Todd an LSU guy?
The bathroom, he stayed
hardcore.
on.
Okay,
Hardcore.
Okay. Getting the context here. I got it.
Although I think he once complimented someone from Texas maybe the other day on a Monday show. But yeah, we love Todd.
It was because LSU doesn't have a player at that position coming out in the draft.
We love Todd.
Todd
Hey, Greg.
Todd is a massive LSU mark. That's the deal.
Greg, thanks for joining us.
Jayden Daniels, he loves anything that comes from LSU. He will probably sit here and tell you how Rohan Davey never got a chance to be the Hall of Famer he deserved to be.
Hey, Shaq was great.
Shaq was great.
Yeah, Keith
That's
Jackson,
basketball.
a.k.a. Sharif Abdur-Rahman. I would say,
for him, right? Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, on the right path. Yeah,
that dude was nice.
Let's not make this about LSU. Team Washington, this is Doug flipping over, says, glad to see everyone safe after the bridge collapse. Blessing, fellas. Yeah, that bridge thing was crazy, man. My coworker travels on it every day, man. Every day drops his kids off at school on the other side. And shout out to MDOT and all the police who actually cleared the bridge as much as they could right before because the ship lost power. But yeah, shout out to everyone involved, and super, super sad, man.
Very sad.
This is
scary. Like, I've never been scared of bridges. I've seen that shit. I was like, all it took was a barge that goes under it every day.
Yeah, try driving over the Bay Bridge, man. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's scary every single time.
I ain't gonna lie.
I hate it.
Now, talk about putting karma in the air. I came back from Ocean City last year on the Bay Bridge, and as I'm coming down back off the Eastern Shore, and I'm coming back into Annapolis, I'm sitting there thinking, if this thing collapses underneath of me, is it a good thing that I got my convertible top open on this Mustang? I can just pop the seatbelt and just float on up.
Like in Fast Five when they're jumping off the bridge and they hop off the back.
Yeah. Like, I'm having those thoughts. And the worst thing is that, like, I even thought afterwards, like, I probably shouldn't put that kind of energy in the air. What do you know? I hit a deer going down 66 later.
There you go. Crunch.
Crunch.
They got a big one over here going from Louisville over to Ohio. Oh my God, it's like over the whole Kentucky River. So, like, man, I hate going over that thing. I can imagine a damn boat.
Have you seen the Bay Bridge, Dev?
No, I've never been.
Devin in Kentucky, man. He ain't seen.
It's like a good 10-minute drive.
What we've got over
because
here.
my wife's from Midwest. My wife's from Illinois, and they basically come out here. Like, we take them to the beach sometimes. It's a legit 3-mile drive, like 3 miles over water, and it's high as hell too. So it's pretty crazy up there. They're scared to death.
It seems like an eternity.
It's you know what? You better take Dev down to Norfolk and go across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
Yeah,
the bridge tunnel, I should say.
Jason Donaway says, "Take Command podcast," referring to says we're leaning towards JJ. Godspeed. Hella arm. His offense was quarterback friendly, is why his stats were low. We talked about this on Monday. JJ maybe in a trade down situation.
Yeah, that's the only way I would take him to. I agree with you, Steve. Like he shows traits. He's athletic. He can throw the ball. He made some big plays, but like I think you're overvaluing him at 2. You can trade back and get him, and hopefully stack up some picks that way.
I didn't see it. I didn't see enough, bro. And for a guy, if you're going to pick in the top 2 or 3, I gotta see consistently at some point that you can carry a team on your back. And I saw him be a part of a good team and make some plays. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't see a dude that was like, hey, man, we need you to get 400 today or we're going to lose. And him get 400.
So, Deb, I was trying to watch a game the other day. I'm just trying to get through all these quarterbacks. I was put on Penn State, Michigan. He threw the ball legitimately 8 times that game. Yeah, and they ended the game on 33 straight runs. And I was like, throw the ball. Let me see just one time. It's like he just wasn't throwing the ball. It's ridiculous.
He's made some sick throws when he's had the opportunities. But I'm with you. Todd says Jayden Lamar. Stop.
It's got Danny Dimes written all over it. JJ McCarthy has got Danny Dimes.
No, I think he can be better than
Danny Dimes has made an all-star team and got paid, bro. He had a year or 2.
And I love every second.
Let's call him Vanilla Vic or whatever. or
he'll still find a way to get 77 yards against
Brad
Washington
Jackson
every
or
game.
whatever else.
Yeah.
Scout says Steve's loved those tight ends, man. Hey, tight ends are goated. It's on my Twitter profile.
Penix too. He loves Penix also. And
George Sunil from our Facebook page says if they draft Maye, he's going to take us to the Super Bowl in his first year. No sophomore quarterback from college ever took a team to the Super Bowl. He will have to sit for 2 years. George, please stick with us because at the end, at the Adam Peters quotes, I have a specific quote from Adam Peters that addresses this specific information, but I'm not going to run it just yet.
Man, weed ain't for everybody.
No. I am going to say this. Look how the goalposts got moved for Maye on this one. Is he going to take us to the Super Bowl in his first year?
Who does?
How many rookie quarterbacks take you to the Super Bowl in their first year?
I think did Ben do it? Did Ben maybe?
Why would he have to sit for 2 years?
It's the exception, not the rule.
I don't understand why it's such a divided line. It's either you're Jayden Daniels or Drake Maye. You can't appreciate both.
We can't lose.
George, there's certain reasons why some of them you can't really speak about. A lot of it is they don't like the idea of because Jayden Daniels plays like the 2024 quarterback, right?
Yeah.
In a stereotypical sense, he runs the ball a lot. It's him, right?
He's sexier. He's more fun to watch. It's entertaining.
This almost like NBA all-star version of a quarterback, where because we idolize quarterbacks to death, right? And I get it. He's got a lot of great skills. Yeah. Drake Maye, even though he's a lot more athletic than people give him credit for, but because he's he's tall and he stands in the pocket. They don't want that because they think they see that and they see these tall white dude in the pocket. They think Peyton Manning, slow as hell, all he's going to do is throw, and you can't do that in the modern NFL. And because you look at the comparisons, a lot of people will make when they make these dividing these dividing line arguments.
Yeah,
Jayden, Lamar Jackson, Randall Cunningham, Michael Vick, but better. I've heard that one.
Yeah.
And then you get Drake Maye. It's like Eli Manning. It's like, come on. Don't be intellectually dishonest. Just appreciate the fact that they're two guys who are very talented. They have very differing skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jayden, way more athletic, but Drake Maye isn't he's not unathletic. Drake Maye, much better arm. Jayden Daniels, not so good. But he's got a pro arm. He can play the position at pro level. It's not like he's Taylor Heineke out there.
I've been telling y'all Drake Maye is a Chrysler 300, man, but Daniels is a Lambo. Yeah, you don't spend
that right there.
Yeah, I mean, you want to, hey bro, you want to go get your groceries and you want to go get your groceries, man, and still look good. Hey, get your Chrysler 300, bro. You want a chick to look and turn her head when you walk by, when you ride by. Get a Lambo. I mean, is that easy to go? And the worst thing that could happen, the Lambo breaks down on the interstate, and since you have the money to buy a Lambo, get another one. There's another Lambo in the draft next year. Shadur Sandals, get another one. It ain't that hard to figure out. If whoever it is you drafted, they suck, you're gonna be drafted right back at number 2 next year, anyways, bro.
Let me say something real quick, because for one, let me give a shout out to Yam. Yam's the best, by the way, the most supportive person out there. I love Yam. He's the best. And then also shout out to Marcus, man. Marcus in the chat is why I'm bringing this up. Do people kind of sleep on the athletics? Like, I kind of see what Phil's going. The whole sneaky athletic, the moxie that basically Drake Maye offers.
That's a racial slur.
Exactly. He is an athlete. I know. I was messing with y'all. He is an athlete. He has 2 brothers that played basketball at UNC. One of his brothers was on the national championship team. That's step one, right? His brother is a pitcher at the University of Florida, so he has a gun in the SEC playing as a Florida pitcher in that regard. And his dad was a UNC quarterback too. Like, they come from a pedigree of athletes, and I love that. The Kelseys, we see the Shannon Sharp and Sterling Sharp. Starting to see like these awesome families that produce. If you want to give Marvin Harrison credit for basically having pedigree with his dad, why doesn't Drake Maye get love for having an athletic family in that regard too? Like the Gronkowskis and all them too. Like I love that. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. And last season, So Jayden Daniels had. Anyone want to take a guess how many rushing touchdowns he had?
I know the answer, so I'm not gonna say it. But go ahead.
He had 10.
Mm-hmm.
How many did Drake Maye have? Anybody?
9.
Yes. He had 9. He had 9.
Yeah, 9. Yeah.
He had 450 yards and only on 112 attempts. Jayden Daniels clearly is a better runner, but I think a lot of he's dynamic in that respect. So just like kind of like Sam's mobility was underrated, I think Drake's mobility is a little bit underrated too. So let's just get into
the helmet scouts are in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, Sam Howell had
seen a lot of that right there.
Sam Howell had 828 yards rushing the last year he was in college.
He sure did.
It's like, and 3,000 in the air. Just to let y'all know. Just to let y'all know.
Hey, Marcus, thank you for that, by the way. I see the comment on the screen. I appreciate you,
Marcus says, George, I posted you and Mark Bullock film breakdown. Every time you posted after the Kingsbury film breakdown, I think Amari Rodgers can benefit from Kingsbury offense. You know what? This is my last year waiting for Amari Rodgers. I can't. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I hope we jump back in the first and draft a tight end. If not, get one in the second or third. Give me Ben Sinnott.
First round tight end with no left tackle?
Or second. One of your second.
I want to trade back up for a tackle.
Yeah, you got to get a tackle in the first round, I think. I think that's probably the best way. So let's get into Drake Maye's pro day. I don't know how much footage you got to watch of it, George, but kind of on the same questions here. Let's just start this time with a little bit of we'll do the film here very quickly of Drake Maye here, and then we'll go from there. Well, we're not going to watch all 2 minutes of it, but we'll show some of his throws. I'll turn the volume up a little bit. You guys hear it?
Yeah, you can't deny that he has better arm talent.
He's a better passer. Do you guys remember those old Powerade commercials like Michael Vick threw the ball out of the stadium? Like, I get them vibes here. He can launch the ball. Look at this.
I mean, the 65-yarder just nonchalantly with a guy in his face, kind of. And then there was something to a lot of the reactions of
I think this is it right here.
Quinn and Peters. Yeah, that one.
Dude. I love that one.
In stride. He did have one really terrible throw. That's not on this highlight reel.
Sideline, right?
Yeah, to the right sideline.
That was all of his throws were that one terrible one.
Yeah. Over a show. She never skipped a beat. You can't hate on this. You can't say this. I don't know when you say it was dry just because there's no music. I mean, this is no different than any other pro day. You could argue that these throws are more explosive than the other pro days. You can make that argument.
They got that jump man up there though.
They do. They got Jordan. They certainly do got Jordan. Straight up.
The thing is that I wish I was less objective because I'd love to be just a Drake Maye stand just to irritate people.
I think Drake Maye is good, man.
I think he is good. I think you can turn either one of these guys into a franchise quarterback.
Nah, man, this dude's a Honda Civic, bro. I mean, and they cool. They nice. Honda Civics are dope. I need a Lambo at number 2, bro. That's all I'm saying. Go get a dude, man. We got a lot of good players, dog.
You gotta understand.
Get a great player.
Let's keep something in mind. All right, the Lambo is great as long as you got someone properly driving it. And if your driver decides that they're going to just burn out their clutch at every single turn,
then get another one next year.
Run the ball when there's somebody open 20 yards down the field, and then not see the defender coming from the side that blasts them.
I mean, that's cool. I still
you're gonna wreck that Lambo real quick.
I'd rather have a bad driver and a Lambo than a bad driver and a Daewoo. You know what I'm saying?
You assume that there's a bad driver, though. That's the thing.
I
don't think. Here's the thing. The problem is that Drake Maye is a vehicle that has not completely come off the assembly line yet.
They're still coming up with upgrades for it.
Software
updates. Todd says 2 LSU players in the first round in DC. No, I can't think of the second person that's worth coming back into the first round.
A wide receiver or something like that.
Of course. You know, Brian Thomas, who also ran a great 40 time at the pro day.
He's a stud, man.
He's a very good stud. But so George, kind of leaning on the same thing. What's your takeaway of Drake Maye's pro day, and what do you think he needs to work on at the next level to be successful?
So my takeaway from his pro day is that it's effortless, man. Like when he has time in the pocket and when he wants to throw the ball, he's probably the best overall arm in the entire class, in my opinion. He can step back, launch the ball downfield. they actually designed the script that way. If you guys go back and rewatch it, they wanted him to throw it off platform with people in his face, just to kind of exhibit that arm strength, just flip it down the field, which he can do that. He has a great deep ball. He can make any throw on the field. That's the upside with him, especially at 21. 6'4", 230, it's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
His flaw, and it's a compilation of things, but when he gets flustered, he makes some boneheaded plays. He does. He'll throw the ball away. He'll be inaccurate. He'll throw the ball directly at a defender. He makes some big mistakes in that regard. I gotta say one thing. UNC's offensive line is horrendous, awful. I was watching the Miami game. They intentionally blitzed the hell out of it, right up the middle. Cam Kinchins is basically running up as a free safety, not touch, crushing Drake Maye, just hitting him. And he basically was, he was flustered the entire game, but he still bounced back in a pretty good game when it was all said and done. But that's his thing. Like when he gets blitzed, when he's flustered, he's going to turn the ball over. He's going to, maybe not turn the ball over, but he's going to have inaccurate passes, and he's going to basically lose his mechanics. Like his mechanics aren't necessarily there because sometimes he can do the most beautiful pass in the world. Sometimes he'll miss the layups that we see there as well. So yeah, that's Drake Maye. But like the thing is, at 21, can you coach that out of him? So like that's
the question. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
The two questions are this: can you coach out can you get the mechanics up for Maye, and can you teach Daniels to protect himself? That's the $1 million question between both of them. So
I got the answer. You ain't got to do it at all. Just take Daniels.
I mean, you're not worried about his size, Dan?
Nah, man. Like he's already 210. He's bigger than Kirk Cousins. He's bigger than Mark Jackson, who came into the league.
First of all, Dev, he's the same way as Kirk Cousins, same size as Kirk Cousins with pro day measurements, which are actually more favorable than combine and official roster measurements. All right, his ass is probably 202 at the head.
I'm cool with 202. Well, I mean, like I said,
how do you get a favorable pro day measurement that makes you an inch shorter?
I'd like to share a tweet from
they measure you with and without shoes on, but unfortunately, who gives a shit because you play football in shoes? So I don't give it. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, because everybody else is on the field, so that's a moot point.
I'd like to share a tweet from a Mr. At GC Carmi 21. If you're on Twitter, please follow George at GC Carmi GCARMI 21. It says a love story, a progression, and there was little subtle cues that I picked up on that you didn't see at the Jayden Daniels pro day. I'm just being subjective. Like I said, Jayden Daniels is still my QB1 in my head. In my heart, it's Drake Maye. So I'm still on the fence, but my brain tells me go with Jayden. My heart says go with Drake. There were some subtle signs, like Dan Quinn and Adam Peters did some things. I probably should play this here very quickly. There was another, if you follow I'll show this here very quickly. There's a reporter from Boston, NBC Sports Boston, who's very, very intrigued with Drake Maye. Mind you, okay, the Patriots sitting at 3, they think we're going to go with Jayden Daniels, so they are extremely interested in what Drake Maye has to offer. Okay, and the reporter said, and I'll let him quote it, but Dan Quinn and Adam Peters were singing money, 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 money during this, when he's making these throws. Oh, wow. And there was one scene where Dan Quinn just laughed, and he said he walked away because he saw enough as in, like, that's a good thing. I don't need to see anymore. So I'll play this here for a second, and then I'll let you guys make your own impressions.
And
you guys hear it?
They were impressed, and they were telling everybody they were impressed. And Quinn saw a throw. He shook his head. I don't know.
So he's going to talk about Dan Quinn and Adam Peters here coming up right here.
What the fans, whatever, but from what I saw in the responses of some of the other coaches, Dan Quinn saw a throw. He shook his head and started walking like he was leaving. He saw enough. And they were impressed, and they were telling everybody they were impressed. These are the NFL guys. These aren't the fans or whatever.
See?
And I've been to Patriots training camp and all this stuff. I've been down on Drake Maye, but he did make throws we see in person that were better than anything I saw at training camp last year. And it was oohs and ahs from the NFL people, and there wasn't fans in there. And like I said, Niners, Jets, couple other teams, Dan Quinn, they were singing OJ's money, 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 money.
See, I'm not making this up.
I love it, man.
But I don't think they was down on Drake Maye as Twitter is. Yes, he did throw the throw into the stands. I was on that side where he threw it. But out of 60 throws, 58 of them were hitting the guys in the hands.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. So you guys heard that. That's from a neutral source. That's from a Boston reporter, a guy who reports for the Patriots, who said that, not me. Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. Commander Lauren, thank you for joining us from YouTube. Says Maye's gonna suck. Period. You're entitled to your opinion, bro.
Hey, man,
I'm not gonna try to change your mind.
Danny Downs Jr.
Man, you're conference scouting, Dev. I think. Marcus says Maye isn't slow. Plus, he comes from a fan of athletes. That's what George was talking about. George Sunil. So waste the second pick on a player that will have to sit. Daniels had no choice.
Where George gets his idea that Drake Maye is going to sit, other than he just wants it to happen so he can say, "We should have got."
Yeah, you know what? I think it's time that I possibly. You know what? I'm just gonna show this now. I was gonna wait till later, but when you talk about sitting and you talk about your second round pick sitting, and this is what Adam Peters has to say, and I'm gonna pull this out here and let you guys read it for yourselves, and I'll read it for the audio only crowd. Here we go. So this is written by Ben Stanig from The Athletic. If you haven't, if you know who Ben, please subscribe to The Athletic. It's great. It's only $1 a month. It says, on if it matters of how ready a quarterback is to come and play. You weigh that. How ready are they immediately, and how much work do they have to do? And then how can you get them there? This is Adam Peters talking. And so with the guys we have in the room right now, I don't think we have to rush anybody. That's a great thing, whether it's with Marcus or Jake. We're not going to have to rush whoever. If you draft a guy, we wouldn't have to rush him into playing right away. And that's not how we work anyways. We're going to play the person who's going to give us the best chance to win. So that's a direct quote from Adam Peters that Ben Stanig wrote on The Athletic. And I wanted to put that out there. So when people say, it's going to be, this kind of alludes that you could possibly trade down out of both of those guys, right, George?
Potentially, yeah, I can see that.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. It would hurt me to see Marcus Mariota trot out week.
Oh, bro, I don't
think it's going to happen.
Don't even.
Or Jake Fromm
like
for that matter.
I never liked Marcus Mariota. He never once paid for weed.
Well, I don't know about all that, but yeah,
never once.
So for him, I'll be disappointed if he roll it out. I don't see Drake Maye sitting. I don't see any of these guys sitting. I think they're going to build off the momentum and the whole, we have a new ownership, Adam Peters, new talent. They're going to roll out that quarterback week 1. And I think Drake Maye will be fine. I think he's perfectly fine. And I think Jayden Daniels will be fine too. The one thing that we like about Jayden Daniels is that he has more game film. So you kind of have a true understanding of where he is. But at the same side, it's exciting with Drake Maye having more potential. He's 3 years younger. He's a quarterback that's built out of a lab. In 6'4", 230. We saw the throws they can do on the field. In my opinion, he's more moldable clay. Like if you are a draft prospect, if you're Adam Peters, wouldn't you want him because he has the higher upside? And I said in a tweet earlier, it's kind of like polarized. People were kind of going back and forth with it. Is basically for the last 2 years, Drake Maye has been the number 2 quarterback on the board behind Caleb Williams. Adam Peters has been a scout for 10 years. Before becoming a GM, he was a scout for 10 years. He's heavily into the scouting community. Is he going to take 2 years of film work, 2 years of understanding of Drake Maye being number 1 over some meteoric rise by Jayden Daniels? Like he's going to pick one over the other. I feel like if he's going to caught up in his position, he's going to defer to you. I know Drake Maye. I see the upside. I got, it's a safer pick in my opinion. I got to see him leaning that way.
Yeah. That's absolutely true. A few more comments says I need to stop dogging Mr. Maye, Dr. Maye. If he comes to us, he's going to be the best quarterback we ever had. Brandon was speaking facts. Nigel Basham, thank you for joining us from YouTube. Said I told you Sam wasn't our guy. I'm so happy we're drafting a young quarterback with a top 3 pick. Could be huge for us. We're not.
By the way, watch. Nigel's going to be the most honest of you guys.
We win from every direction. Literally, look at the Panthers. Gave the Bears 1 TAC 0-1, the first draft pick in the NFL draft. Commander Laura said, did you see him throw the ball into the damn stands on a simple route? I'm going to say what an ESPN, Dan Orlovsky said. 58, or I'm sorry, he threw, you know what? I have to pull him up.
Passes.
No, he threw 74 passes. 74 passes. Mark Tyler actually has the full stats, which I'll pull up here in a second. Of all the people, and the numbers are actually, if you want to compare pro days of Daniels and what's it called, Jayden Daniels and
Maye.
Drake Maye, as far as statistics wise, he actually pulled up the statistics. I'll pull them up here in a second. Thanks to Yam. Yam pulled that up earlier.
Yam.
Yam. Here
one of
it is.
them's a drop too.
He had multiple drops. Here it is. I'll show this very quickly, and then we will just move on because I'm not gonna dwell on this forever. But here is the stats for the pro day. If you're into those sort of things, Jayden Daniels 6'3", 210. He had it with the measurements up there. 56 throws, 52 for 56, 3 incomplete, 1 drop. Drake Maye weighed in 227, 6'4", 74 throws, 69 for 74, 3 incomplete, 2 drops. So Jayden Daniels at 92.8%, and Drake Maye was like 93.6%.
To be real honest, these pro days are less about the throws they make than about how they lead those throws and work with their teammates on those throws.
It's personality based.
It's more about,
absolutely.
It's more about that stuff. They know if these guys can make these throws or not way before they go to these. They've got years of film. You know, that's what they're going to mostly judge their shit on. But you got to see how this guy is around his teammates in a practice environment, how he leads huddles, how he gets guys out, and things like that, how he works through his progressions with his eyes, his arms, and his legs. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking at him doing, like I said, cartwheels after making fucking throws. Like no one's looking at that shit. It's dumb. That's for ESPN and podcasters, dog.
Look who jumped in the chat. Washington Commander Declassified Podcast. Our boy Ellie says Drake Maye equals Jay Cutler. Former member of this podcast. We love you, Ellie.
Yeah, man.
Drake Maye equals Jay Cutler. That's harsh, dude.
Jay Cutler was a dick, but he was a dick with a cannon, bro.
Real quick, let's show. This is Michael Penix.
What's the other guy? Jeff George, like the same kind of guy. Fucking got a damn missile for a rocket ship for an arm, man. But he was a dick.
And Deuce, Red Zone in the Lab podcast. Deuce, thank you for joining us. He was asking, did he miss the Michael Penix Jr. talk? Here is Michael Penix running a 4.46 40, and so I'm going to show this, and then very quickly.
I thought he couldn't run.
I bet he rubbed his knees immediately after that old ass.
Gliding, man.
Here it is. We'll watch it one more time.
You got wave cap on?
He does.
He always does. I love it.
Hey, Uncle Penix, dog. It's Uncle Penix.
Running the shiesty, So George, do you think Michael Penix Jr. running a 4.46 40, does that change his status? Because right now he's really seen as a top of the second round kind of guy. Do you think that changes his status at all?
I think it does, actually, because I think we talked about it in the draft. We talked about it in our chat. I think there are certain players that don't have to run the 40, that don't have to do these like vertical leaps and 3 cones and stuff like that. Michael Penix, he knows he's athletic. He knows he has the talent, so he went out there and proved it, right? Like he has that stigma about him that he stands in the pocket, that he's a statue, that he doesn't scramble. He has an awesome offensive line, so he it's kind of viewed as a pocket passer. But now he kind of raised the eyebrows to some scouts across the league that, hey, I can run a 4.4 40. I can create on my own. I'm not a statue. You can design things for me. And in theory, we talked about I think, we don't know Drake Maye's official 40, but he's actually faster than Drake Maye. I think Drake Maye had 4.5, so I understand. So maybe it's there.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he has 2 ACL tears, and then he has 2 shoulder injuries. And he's 24 years old. That's the concerns.
At least one. I know for a fact 2 ACLs, 1 shoulder. I know that.
I've said on other shows, man. Lamar Jackson at age 24 has 2 MVPs, 3 All Pros, and 3 All-Star games by the age of 24. By the time this dude is 30 years old, Lamar will be working on his 3rd contract.
I'm with you. And
that's why I wouldn't take Penix in the 1st round. Now,
Dev, you know how old Jayden Daniels is going to be at the end of his 1st contract? He's going to be almost 30 years old.
That's 29 years old. That's a downfall on him, too. But I'm not saying Penix hitting the 1st round pick. I'm saying I don't pick him early. And by the way, as far as Daniels goes, Daniels also isn't injured all the time.
Yeah.
Penix, he's talented, man. You can't hate on him. He's a very accurate quarterback. He's a southpaw. It's going to be interesting. So you have to build your offense around him. Have a great right tackle as opposed to left tackle to protect his blind side there.
Wally, there you go.
But he gets banged up, bro. I think one thing I do want to say about Penix, I like him. He's accurate. But we saw the Texas game. The people that love him from the Texas game. They turned that game on. We freaking lit up Texas. He was incredible. And the following week, he played Michigan, which is more of a pro-style defense. They were throwing all things at him. He walked away from that game beat up, limping into the tunnel. So that's scary about Penix. He is some. He can get banged up.
The thing about Penix that I like is that he comes back from these injuries better. he's never, the injuries never set him back in terms of his development, right?
He's talented.
And honestly, if you want to talk about pure passing, it's him and Caleb for me in this draft, just in terms of accuracy, decision making, all that. Like those are the two for me.
Consistency, because I think Maye can make throws.
Yeah. He can make all the throws. He's a lefty. I have a natural preference against lefty quarterbacks.
I think most people do.
None of them have good mechanics for the most part, except Penix does. Like his throwing motion, his
lasers, man. The balls are lasers.
He's been throwing footballs for 30 years. He's 50. He should have good mechanics, bro. You ever like played your elementary school coach at basketball and tear your ass up with them fundamentals, man? Them bike shorts on. That's what
Todd says. Whoever passes on Jayden Daniels will feel like the teams that passed on Lamar. All 31 of them that passed on Lamar.
I agree.
Speaking of Lamar, I want to be surprised if Penix gets like someone trades up into the bottom of the first round to get Penix to get that
for the potential. Right? Absolutely. Why would you not? And you can sit him for a year.
And then when Penix wins the Super Bowl, I'm just gonna look at y'all like.
I don't even think you got to set him. I think Penix can play, man. He just got to be on the right team.
He can start day one and go and be a playoff quarterback.
Yeah. I think Penix can play. I think Penix is going to be better than J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, I think he has. I think he honestly has the highest floor of anybody in this draft.
I take Penix over McCarthy right now.
Tommy on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Says for Jayden Daniels, they got 6 years of film. Yam says Jayden will be drawing Social Security by the end of his rookie deal.
Right.
Todd said Penix.
Yeah, I said that.
Drake made. Yes. Deuce says Master P, one less ACL and he's QB1. Now, if you remember after the first playoff game where Washington won, I was all on.
That was the Texas game. That's what I'm talking. He was lighting people up.
Throwing dots.
All of us were. Like, what the hell is going on?
Good.
But that was right when I started looking at who's available. He was the first one I looked at, and I was like, dude,
that was the beginning of draft. That was the end of the NFL season, the beginning of draft season. That was him on a
watching him move in the pocket, in and out of pocket. He was doing fantastic. Yeah. Todd says he wouldn't be surprised if Penix goes ahead of Maye. That ain't happening, bro. Yeah. Not after today.
Okay, hey, man, I'm going to get you checked for crack. I don't know what you over there doing.
Penix goes late in the first round, goes on like an established team. He'll be all right, man. He'll be fine.
I think he'll go top 20. I think Penix will go top 20, man.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, quarterbacks are in luxury. Yeah, they're going to fly off the board. They're going to fly off the board this time.
Dev Deuce is taking shots. He said, I've been watching him for over a year. Michigan beat up on that whole team. And he said, Dev, age-shaming Master P, but Daniels is a super senior too. He is, man.
The difference is one of them's had a bunch of surgeries and one ain't. That's like if you got to choose a golden girl, you know what I'm saying? You want to choose Blanche. Not Dorothy. You know what I'm saying?
Not Dorothy. I agree with
Tommy said Mahomes never won any bowl games. Mahomes never won any bowl games. And how many Super Bowls has he won? Won 3 so far.
Yeah, it makes you wonder also, like Kingsbury had all them quarterbacks and didn't win shit.
Oh, look at Todd. Penix will go to Seattle and he will pass Sam on the depth chart. This dude is just out. You know what? We said this before. Sam will be starting before the year's over.
I think Todd,
Sam's going to start a game. I agree with that.
I think Todd has a sister or a mother.
Damn, hold on, man.
Took out back behind an Applebee's.
Oh, think about what you're going to say right now,
man. Before, and Todd is bitter about it. Yeah. There's no reason one man should have this much hate for the quarterback of his team.
That's like some Bruce Allen Snyder hate right there, man. That's some Drake J. Cole hate, man.
All right, George. Now we're gonna go to a segment WWGD. What would George?
Yeah, I'm worried about this. We'll see what's
up. So George, okay. Given what we've seen all the pro days we need to see, right? I don't even know if there's anyone left to see. I think that's all the big pro days, and Drake Maye was the last one. We've seen pro days. We've seen the 2023/2024 NCAA season. You're in Adam Peters' seat, given what you know now. I want to know what George would do in the first few rounds in the draft. So without any further ado, what are you doing if you're the Commanders in the draft?
All right. So what I'm going to do, it's hard, man, going back and forth. I think I've been going back and forth all the time, but I think after today, it's waffling. You guys are gonna call me a flipper.
You can change it tomorrow if you want. It's okay.
I'm gonna change it tomorrow. I think I'm gonna draft Drake Maye at number 2. I'm gonna start off with Drake Maye at number 2. I like the fact that he's 21. I like the fact that he's 6'4". I like the fact that you can build him up. There's so much more. Jayden Daniels is sexy, as we talked about, in regard to like creating. It's more that new age quarterback, but in regard to the upside, in regard to all like the youth and everything in regard to that, Drake Maye is easier to kind of. There's more upside to him, and if we're going for home runs, we're not going for the floor, right? So I'm going to go for Drake Maye, and I think Adam Peters will go for that as well.
I personally think they would. I'm not gonna lie. I think Washington will pick Drake Maye. I hope they pick Daniels.
Greg Delaney says, "I'm with you, George." Commander Lorian says, "George going to be catching Maye foul balls in the stands."
I'm a season ticket holder.
It was one throw.
Oh yeah. If you look at the chat, it became multiple throws. See, this is how that telephone bullshit happens.
Drake completed 93% of his passes. Jayden completed 92% of his passes at the pro days. It's fact. It's out there. You can go check the stats.
I care about their completions in their game, actually.
I do too.
Drake Maye was completing passes against dudes that's going to be like podcasting after the next season, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like
that ain't his fault.
I mean,
you give what everyone's. Look at
SEC wasn't particularly.
What about Josh Allen? What about Josh Allen? He was completing passes to people who are farming corn right now.
And Josh Allen was terrible his first 2 years in the league, bro.
What's the temp of the room? So Dev's a Jayden fan. You're a Maye fan, Phil. And you're kind of back and forth.
Yes.
No, here's the thing. I'm actually really undecided on it.
It's hard.
But
I think Maye
the thing is that I hate hives, right? Mm-hmm. I don't like people who give somebody unnecessary amounts of praise and love when they haven't done anything. I hated people. And the thing is, it makes me come across as a hater because it's like somebody's got to be the cold water. Because I was the same way with Heineke. Now, granted, I like both of these guys way more now ever like Taylor Heineke. But I was also the first guy on this podcast when Heineke came in at Panthers game in 2020. I said, I think this kid's got something. And LE was like, nah, you can't say nothing about no Taylor Heineke. Now, granted, he was closer to right than I was. But but in the end, I don't like hives. I don't like people who heap unnecessary amounts of praise and adulation and anoint someone as the new Jesus Christ, and they haven't done anything yet, right? So
I'll throw a question out when you're done. Go ahead.
So I hate all that. So I'm really undecided. Personally, I'd trade back, get 2 first-round picks, use one of them late to get Penix, get a solid offensive tackle to protect his blind side, and let's roll. But at the same time, this fan base needs a star quarterback, so we're picking 1 and 2.
Dev has a comment real quick.
No, I was saying, see his Yam. He said, all right, he got to see on the
Yam.
Full disclosure, Phil hates Paul Rudd and puppies too. But shout out to our boy.
I do not hate puppies. I do not hate puppies.
How do you hate Paul Rudd, bro?
Hold on, look at my shirt.
How do you hate Paul Rudd? That's hilarious.
Right, that's like hate Jesus.
Puppies. You know Brandon Cole, thank you so much for the super sticker. Always appreciated, never requested. We thank you so much,
Lift
bro.
heavy, pet cute puppies.
Here's my question, and it's totally stupid. Would the city be more hyped for Jayden Daniels?
Yeah, 1,000%.
I think so. Right? I think Drake Maye's like the smarter. I think Dre's like the football maneuver, but like Jayden Daniels is like people will get more hyped. Like RG3 again. The
problem is that whenever you get a hype product, if they don't pan out, then our fan base turns into nasty.
I agree with
that. And here's the thing I worry about because of the fact. Let's be honest with you here. The thing that I worry about is that this is going to divide because if one succeeds, the other one fails, and whoever we draft is the one that fails, it's going to become a racial divide in this fan base. Because look what happened. Look what happened with Dwayne Haskins.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Haskins, in the end, screwed Dwayne Haskins here.
Rest in peace.
But a lot of people ran to his defense because he was a young black quarterback. And I get it because it's happened in other situations. I hate seeing that because it's like it means that whoever comes here isn't going to get a fair chance.
Yeah.
I agree to that. We don't have to get too deep into it, Phil, but I think it is like the fan base is so diverse, people kind of automatically gravitate towards one person or the other. It's almost like politics, right? So when you look at like, oh, I'm going to vote for that person, or he looks too old, or whatever it is, it's just like that. And I feel like when someone,
I'm the guy who's always, I haven't voted major party in an election since 2004. So I gotta be the guy who's always gotta be. Well, what about this third option? I'm the one over here saying, let's take a look at Penix. And everybody's going, Maye, Daniels.
It's
Caleb Williams.
If we drop the Penix
Caleb Williams, and no one wants to talk about that.
If we drop Penix at 2, I'm going to go over a ride, bro. I'm just like, know.
Shout out to Todd Samuels for the $1.99 super chat. Says Jayden Daniels, Dylan Cruz run DC. Go Tigers. So Dylan Cruz is the Nationals' first.
Yeah, he's nasty. I'm happy
second
to have him.
overall pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Cruz is going to be great for the Nationals. I can't argue with you about Dylan Cruz because
welcome to DC.
Welcome to DC. I don't know about the first half of that, but Todd, as always, thank you so much.
I don't even hate LSU. I just do it just to mess with Todd. I don't hate
Who's Dylan Cruz?
Because
he's the Nationals outfielder for the Nationals. Yeah,
he was like the number 2 overall pick in the Major League Baseball draft from LSU. Like nasty,
22 years old. He's gonna be. He can
do everything. He's like the new
one. I can't wait till I trade him to my Yankees in about 10 years.
He probably will. Unfortunately, hopefully Learners will freaking pay somebody. Come on, man, crazy.
True story. My cousin years ago was scouted and offered an opportunity to play at LSU as their catcher. Had he not already verbally committed to Coastal Carolina, which is another great baseball school, and they came up to him and gave him the full ride and everything. Had LSU gotten to him sooner, he would have ended up playing there and would have been a starting catcher there.
Yeah.
My cousin was good. I mean, I'm talking about like, you know how I'm going to throw some old names at you. Remember guys like Jason Kendall? Like catchers could run the bases. He was that kind of guy.
There you go.
Like Joe Carter?
6'2", 220. Could hit second base in less than 2 seconds coming out of high school.
There you go.
Yeah. Good head and arm.
So, George, continuing along
I got a challenge for Phil first. Hold on, Phil. I got a challenge for you. Name 5 African-American baseball players. Go. Damn, nope, you can't do it. Nope.
I was just about to say Andrew McCutchen was the first one I was going to say.
Yes,
I immediately was starting to say a name and you cut me off.
Andrew McCutchen still play?
Are you talking
I think he's on his last. He was playing last year. He was playing last year.
He played last year. Currently playing. All right. So, God, I didn't even pay attention to baseball last year. All right. So does this include like Afro-Cuban guys?
Yeah. You want to ask? I'll give you Satchel Paige. You want to add?
I guess
Aaron.
Murray.
Aaron. Barry Bonds.
Griffey Jr. Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray.
Darryl Strawberry, Doc Gooden. I can name a bunch that have played. There's not a lot in the league right now.
I said name 5. You could name 1.
You cut me off as I was naming the first one.
All right, back on topic, George. So you said, what would George do? WWGD. So you said maybe draft Drake with the first. So given that line of logic and thought, where would you go for the rest of the picks conceptually? You don't have to go by name or by position. Just conceptually, where would you go from there?
I got you. So what I would do is get Drake Maye off the break. He'd be a starting quarterback. I would package one of our number 2s with our 3rd round pick. With one of our 3rds, we have 3 of them, and a future pick. Go back up into the 1st round again. Try to get a tackle like in the 17 or 20 range. You could potentially get maybe a Fuaga from Oregon State falls there, or Fotney from Washington is kind of floating around there, or another tackle that's kind of around there as well. Get him to kind of protect to protect your investment with the quarterback there. Your second. Number 40, let's say you give away number 36. You have 40 there, so in the 2nd round. At that point, you're looking at potentially a cornerback. I'm thinking maybe TJ Tampa might be sitting around there. Could also be, you could be looking at an edge player if one happens to fall down there as well, or a wide receiver. So I definitely think that's another little spot right there. Honestly, I was doing a mock draft with Adam Aniba and Big Doug yesterday. And we saw the tackles fly off the board. It's pretty top heavy tackle class. A bunch of them kind of go they are pretty strong, like 5 or 6 really good ones, but they basically leave after the 1st round. Like, Mims from Georgia, a couple other people are gone in the 1st round. So I guess my goal would be you get a quarterback, you get a tackle, and then you're starting to look at cornerback, and then maybe a wide receiver too. We need a wide receiver. Like
no tight end love.
I wanted tight end maybe in the third round potentially. I don't know. I like Jaheim Bell, maybe Jatavian Sanders as well, third round. But like, I don't know. We got that one Zacchaeus. I think we just got him today as well. So we have another depth wide receiver. But like, how do you guys feel comfortable with Diamond Brown at number 3? Do you feel like Jamison Crowder at number 3?
No, you got to get a receiver. Man, if you could get Leggett.
Yeah, I mean, nice, man. Yeah, man.
Here's this comment, and no one can ever give me a name.
You can get 2 tackles at 36 and 40, then best player for Illinois to trade up.
I wouldn't mind that one.
What starting left tackle is going to be available at 36 or 40?
Maybe Jordan Morgan.
Maybe Jordan Morgan.
Jordan Morgan will be available on the BYU guy, Panay Sewell's cousin. He has like a really
at least, right?
Yeah, but
there's another guy. He's like a really like a.
I'll take a project at quarterback over a project at left tackle.
Yeah.
The thing is, you're right though, Phil. I don't think a left tackle will be available, and that's a trick. In the top of the second round, you're looking at right tackles.
You got to go one, George. You have to. I think that's the only way. You got to play while the Ravens played Lamar Jackson and jump back in and get that move. You have 2s and 2 3s.
You have enough picks to parlay yourself back in.
Yeah.
I agree.
Guyton,
that's a good one too.
Tyler Guyton.
There, Mandalorian. Sorry.
Yep.
And Morgan may be moving to guard.
Yeah.
I'll put Wiley in. I don't know how you guys feel about him. Like, I don't trust him as a right tackle potentially.
I don't trust him
as a left guard. Yeah, for anything. I agree.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust him to. I wouldn't trust him to deliver water to the players and timeouts.
Commander Lawrence on the Maye train, man. Maye's Dwayne, not enough experience. He has double the experience Dwayne has.
That's true.
Fred Brown, what's up, Fred? Said my guys. Thanks for joining us, Fred. OG of the Facebook addict. We appreciate you. Okay, so George kind of gave us his rundown of where he think it would go conceptually. We already talked about one of the quotes from that I showed earlier, where Adam Peters said about not necessarily needing to start a quarterback that they draft right away. So we keep talking about number two, guys got to start right away. Yes, we kind of feel that way, but according to that quote we read earlier, he says we can draft a guy, not have him play right away. So, like George said, we'd all be a little distraught if they trotted Marcus Mariota's ass out there on week 1. But I do want to show one more quote from Adam Peters. I had 2 lined up, and you guys already prompted the first one out of me. So let's get into this one here very quickly. Sorry, let me switch into this one. This is the assumption that the Bears will ultimately draft Caleb Williams with the first overall pick. So I'm going to read this and let me know what you guys think. Adam Peters, I think you have to be prepared for anything. I can't assume that the Bears are going to draft a certain guy at number 1. If you do and that they don't, oh shoot, regardless of how much information that says one thing leading up to the draft, you don't know until the card is in. And what Ben Stanek provides a little contact. He says the Commanders will have to answer if Williams is available because Chicago audibles to another quarterback and or opening to trading the first pick. So they had a pretty big contingent at Drake Maye's pro day. I don't know how many Chicago Bears staff was at Jayden Daniels pro day. I did see how many they had. Poles was not there today, but I think the rest of the crew was there. So I guess with that being said, George, if for some crazy reason the Bears don't get Caleb Williams in the first, 2 things I want to ask you. If he slides to the Commanders, do you get him? 2, if someone trades up to the Bears for number 1, they're probably going to take him too. But what do you do? Do you snag Caleb if somehow the Bears, let's just say they pick up Jayden or Drake?
Yeah, you jump on that shit.
You sprint, dude. You freaking pull a hamstring running to the podium and draft Caleb Williams. You do. He really is. Yeah. He's not much better. He really is. Like we all know, we watched his game film. Not to plug the show again, but we did a breakdown for Caleb Williams with Mark and Nick. It was ridiculous. He is legit. It's hard. People keep throwing the Patrick Mahomes comp out for him. Yeah. No one is Patrick Mahomes, but the actual stylistically and watching some of the things that he does, it is Mahomes-esque. He throws off platform, he creates, he runs, he does these baseball kind of shortstop kind of throws to his wide receivers. He does it fast, as a quick. He's a great he's a great QB. You're not going to mess with him, and he brings that star power to DC. And the one thing I don't think it's a flat-footed, as Ben Stanley kind of talked about. Scouting's a full-year job, man. It's sometimes a multi-year job, right? Even they have so much tape on him and so much background on him. And this is not like, oh crap, I didn't plan for this. They have contingencies in place. They're ready for it. I don't think DC would hesitate. I think DC would rejoice if he basically fell as a number 2. It'd be awesome. I think all of us would be happy with that.
Yeah, that would be pretty sick. And then you can throw all the whole, if you pick someone besides Jayden or Drake, then you can just deal all that stuff away. And all you have to worry about is whoever's.
I think Caleb's the chosen one. In DC, you've been fighting for so long. All of us have been fans for years. Like my mom, like she's the one that put me on being a Commanders fan, Redskins fan back in the day. In DC, the most popular person besides the president, and the president's not even popular anymore, it's the backup quarterback, man. Gus Freeze, Gus Farad, for years and years, always been the backup quarterback.
Dates back to the 60s, the early 70s.
Always, Sonny and whatever.
Sonny and Billy.
Yeah, Sonny and Billy, they're always fighting over them too.
And then it was Billy and Joe, and then it was Joe and Jay, and it was Jay and Doug, and it was Doug and Mark, and then it was Mark and Stan.
He might be the one.
Don't forget Rex and Beck. Let's not forget Rex and Beck.
Caleb
I want to forget Beck.
Unites us all, man. He might be the.
He is. He's the chosen one. You're right.
Just bring
Gonzaga, DC. Fred Brown's bold take: Joe Milton and Penix Jr. will be the best pros from this class. That's definitely a.
Joe Milton will play. Tight end, bro.
He's going to go the Tebow route.
Man, that dude's
Milton's going to be tight end and Penix Jr. the quarterback. I see that. Okay.
Yeah. Commander Lawrence says that's all part of lying season. AP knows Caleb is going to Chicago, and if you haven't noticed, everyone's saying this was Brian, the coach of the LSU Tigers, Brian Kelly, just catering to the reporter who was a Commanders reporter asking him. But he said, Jayden's going to do great things for Washington. He said that in his live report, but then there were some caveats saying, "Yep, he was tailoring his responses to the reporters that he was." So, but I don't know. On the surface, there's something that I got.
It's interesting, but one thing that's also, I don't know if you caught it, Steve, but like I caught it, like listening to John Keim, the Bears flew out 2 days early before Caleb Williams' pro day, and they basically took him out to dinner, and they also took out him and his teammates out to dinner to kind of get to know him, kind of watch the vibe of basically how he interacted with his players, right? And they did that 2 days. Like they spent 3 consecutive days with Caleb Williams, and the Commanders didn't even talk to him until the day after the pro day.
Yeah.
So basically, the Bears are pressing on Williams pretty hard.
Plus, and we had evidence of Washington could be posturing to trade back with New England 1 pick. They could get a late pick for that. Like what if they just said, "Man, we're going to take Maye. We're going to take Maye." Just to drive it up.
I hope they are. I
wouldn't be mad at that at all. Steve, I'm with you. If you get like another second rounder for to move back 1 pick or like some crazy,
they could get a fifth. They could get a fifth if your guy was Jayden. You still could get Jayden at 3.
Yeah,
you can give me a fifth.
Yeah.
Give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
He's a diva.
Did you guys see?
I like to call him Crying Caleb.
Yes.
And here's the thing: if we don't, Todd, you better not flake on us. He's supposed to be joining us for draft night.
You can't be a
diva if you don't draft Jayden. Can we call you Terry Todd?
Terry Todd.
Hey, this is a coach from USC right here. Check this out.
Well, it's been a long week for you. Lucky you got me though. Let's see what that phone looks. What the phone looks like? Let's see what color the phone.
Wallet white.
The wallet's white.
Phone is pink. Case is clear.
What the fingernails look like?
Nails are clear. Lips are pink. Your girl love them.
Look at that. People dog that kid unnecessarily.
You know what's funny? He definitely that's such a DC sense of humor.
Yeah, it is.
It is. That's why I'm not mad at it. But yeah, we've hit all our time. Let's get through a couple more comments. Then
he had a sexy red, man.
Commander Lawrence says Caleb will be the huge boomer bust. I'm okay if they pick him if he slides. Thomas says I forget after Dev's A+ draft, which Dev had a fantastic mock. Go back and watch it on Monday. I made my own. Ended up with like 12 picks. Wasn't PFF though. I wasn't going to pay up.
Yeah, we pay because we got to do this podcast. So the PFF's great.
That's right. PFF only gives you a draft grade, and so yes.
So Dev and I had A grades on our drafts.
Yeah,
ended up with Michael Penix.
George, before we close out altogether, let's tell the guys where we can find you and where we can give us a little bit more info on what you got in the cooking in the oven there on the content side of the house.
I appreciate it, man. Dude, I had so much fun tonight. You guys are a blast, man. Thank you for having me on today, guys. Appreciate it. So George Carmi at GCarmi21. I'm in the middle of like rebranding and transitioning, so definitely check me out. My YouTube right now is just George Carmi. Go on there and kind of subscribe to that, please. I'm definitely trying to grow that up a little bit. But right now, me and Big Doug, I'm sure you guys know who he is in the community. We're teaming up, and we have some good chemistry. So we're going to transition from the Big Doug show to the Big Doug and Carmi shows that we're getting into right now. Basically, on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays, we have some live podcasts together. Tomorrow, man, Chrissy Ford, she's going to come on. Chrissy Ford is she actually worked with Brian Leach on the air raid offense. We're going to take a look at that and kind of figure out what that's all about.
Should be fun.
Pretty cool. And then on Monday, we have Quincy Avery, who's a quarterback's coach. We're going to basically ask him about, like, what does he see with Drake Maye and Jayden Daniels and stuff. So definitely check it out, man. It'd be awesome.
Dude, love Quincy Avery. He's pretty brash on Twitter with a lot of stuff going on. He's very straightforward, very blunt. I DM'd him a couple years ago with no response. He there was a response. He referred him to his publicist, but this was like during COVID times.
We were just working on it for a while now, so we boom. Both of us throwing messages out. We're working on it.
Yeah, that should be a good one. I can't wait to see Quincy. When's the Quincy Avery one coming out?
On
Monday. Okay, make sure we'll check it out for sure. But we want to thank everyone who tuned in to the show tonight, and thank you, George, for kicking it with us. We'll put the links to all of George's social media. We'll put George's YouTube channel. We'll put the Big Douglas Show YouTube channel. So not sure which direction you're navigating towards for the rebate. We'll put them both in the description when this show's all complete. That way people can check it out on the way out. Shout out to everyone who joined tonight. Thank you once again to Brandon Cole and Todd for the super chats, man. We give you another round of applause for that. We appreciate it, man. Like I said, never asked for, but always appreciated and very humble to have stuff like that. So just giving some shout outs on the way out. Phil, you got any shout outs before we close it down?
Shout out to George coming on. Glad to have you as always. Has a way nicer beard than I do because
George's beard is slick, man.
He look like a shogun lined him up, man.
Slick.
Appreciate it, fellas. Thank you.
Slick.
Yeah. Happy Easter to everybody. Good Friday. Easter. Celebrate such holidays.
Peace out, Brandon. Thank you.
And y'all doing Easter egg hunting? You guys have smaller kids?
We're going out to Deep Creek, which is like the western tip of Maryland, and we'll do some Easter stuff out there. We'll probably do it. We got some Easter eggs that.
So now that everybody knows Steve's not home, now they can rob him.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Good Lord, it is cybersecurity for the nation. Like.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't post it live on social media. I always post after the fact.
But hey, I think my son is going to Texas. My smallest boy, so. He's gonna take his first airplane flight, so I'm nervous. With his mom. Other than that, I'm gonna be. All the other kids are like 20 and above, so I'm gonna do nothing. I'm gonna smoke.
They're grown.
Watching them my Knicks play. That's what I'm gonna do.
My son's 18. He's gonna do the same thing I'm gonna do on Sunday. Sleep in.
I'm gonna resurrect my lungs on the third day, bro.
Tia, happy Easter. Good night. Thank you for joining. Todd, happy Easter. Happy Easter to everyone. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend.
What does a rabbit sound? What I've had pet rabbits. What do they say? What do they?
Nothing.
What kind of sound does a rabbit make?
You got it right there.
By far, not being racist. That's by far the most Asian shit you ever.
Oh my god,
done in my life.
There you go, dog. I got you, bro. I got you.
You gotta save that clip. Save the time.
Clip that because I sounded like a rabbit. It's a squirrel. It's a rabbit. It's a.
You think a squirrel and a rabbit sound the same? Like if they just walk across from each other, they stop and have a conversation. A squirrel and a rabbit.
I think they pretty much sound the same. Yeah, I think it's pretty close. I think it's close.
Damn.
Similar family. I can see that.
A squirrel would be like a Temu out version of a rabbit.
Todd's still kicking it from New Orleans. I will say Zion Williams is looking pretty good for the first time in his career. He's healthy and
healthy as Rob.
He's healthy and
still not better than Randall.
We get playoff pushes. Ovi's back.
Y'all see my Knicks?
Ovi's back.
Y'all see my Knicks? Get ready to be the second seed in the East. I told y'all, bro.
Yeah, but nobody cares
no
about
Randall. With no Randall. With no
Ovi's back. He is right now. The past 24 games, he is paced. He is on a 60-goal pace right now. He's going to have his 17th 40-goal season of his career. Right, and the Cats are making a push for the playoffs. Everyone thought they were out. They've been hot lately.
They are the second wild card spot right now with about 15 games left. They just beat Detroit last night, so they're on the up and up, man. This is rock the red. This is what we do.
Caps.
And also, as soon as Virginia announced that the stadium deal had fallen through at Potomac Yard, Ted Leonsis announces and Monumental Sports announces that we are proud to announce that we've signed a letter of intent with DC to accept their money for the Capital One rebuild. I was like, this was a money grab
the whole time, dude. Whole time.
By the way, I know more black hockey players than I know in NHL than I know Major League Baseball players. I was like, Keandre Miller and Darnell Nurse, bro.
Yeah.
I know.
Aren't you a Yankees fan?
Yeah, I don't know any black
Aaron Judge.
You know, is he?
Yeah, I was wondering, is he? I have no idea.
Kind of high yellow. I don't know what he's probably a mix.
I haven't heard that since the 90s, by the way.
He's mixed. Bro. He's mixed.
I never.
I don't know what he is. He's definitely.
Hey, I never knew the nigga on Prison Break was black until I found that out, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That dude, I thought he was white too for the longest.
Brandon Cole says, Jayden Daniels all the way. I will have 7 and a grandbaby. He's a grandpa. Dude, look at you. I'm busy. Go. Happy Easter all. A couple shout outs. Quentin Strouder says, Frederick Brown loved the potential of Joe Milton. I think Dev said he's going to be a tight end here pretty soon.
I thought I was the dark horse guy rooting for Penix. Y'all pulling for Joe Milton.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Like on the 5th or 6th, I'll take him.
Yeah, he's got a crazy arm. His pro day, he threw the ball
launched the ball.
Also like 70.
He does have a crazy arm. I don't know if he's going to translate over to the NFL, but
this is going to be what's the dude play for the Taysom Hill? That's him.
Taysom Hill. Todd is giving shout outs to Houston Astros. Only that's probably because Houston is the closest baseball franchise to where he is in Baton Rouge. So I'm just guessing. Yeah. All right. We're going to get out of here. Thank you, George, so much for joining us. Make sure you guys go check out George. We'll put all the socials in the YouTube description. So, George, can't thank you enough, bro.
Bro.
We are really bad at having guests on. We need to do it more because you guys are just awesome.
Every day.
We appreciate it. Love what you guys are doing, you and Doug and Mark. So please keep it up, man. You guys are keeping us all entertained throughout this off season, because it's hard as a content creator in the off season, man. You're reaching for a lot of things, but this is the right time right now. But after both leading up to the draft, it's kind of dead, and then right after the draft, it's kind of dead till you start the mini camps and OTA. So, but thanks for what you do, man. We really appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Of course, brother. Thank you for having me. Appreciate
all right,
it.
Thank you, everyone. We'll catch you guys on the flip. Peace. And hail. Yep.